Yeehaw, babies. We're here. Mare's fucking bonging it in the cold open. It's not going to be so cold of an open. Damn, get that smoke up in you. Ooh, girl, damn, look at those lungs. Damn, girl. Trinity Infinity, Sean Casimir. It's the come up. We're getting high.
Boop, boop.
Crazy. Wow, this wheat tastes so fucking good.
I know.
This is whose wheat?
It's ours. It's the same one. We just been off of it for a second.
Wow.
And the bong's clean.
It's very clean. Incredibly
when the
clean.
bong's clean.
Impeccably clean.
Yeah.
I should finish the rest of this and being a bad smoke.
Where's the goddamn bowl?
Smell that. Speaking of siblings, like we talked about yesterday, anytime I hit a piece or a bong, like I always think about my brother, because my brother is like who kind of made me first, not kind of, definitely made me first start smoking, and was hypercritical, like the rest of my family is, but like Ben specifically, about everything that I do, because I represent him.
Yeah.
I was Little Landon in high school, very annoyingly. And I remember so much, like just, you know, the moments when you're embarrassed in your life are just so visceral. Like you remember everything about them. And I remember being around his friends who like I mostly had crushes on. They were like older boys,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And I'm trying to be cool and I'm like smoking. And Ben's like, what the fuck? Mary, you just burnt the whole fucking bowl. What are you doing over here? He's like, go to the fucking side, take a little bit of it. Like, don't be such an idiot. And that, like, that's our whole relationship, you know? So every time I go to hit it, anything, I always have Ben in the back of my brain. Like,
Jesus
hit it right.
Christ. Meanwhile, you're fucking a hormonal teenager who's mortified. Fucking carrying these traumas into your life.
Still trying to be in the band. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? That was like our
totally.
whole dynamic.
Yeah. You trying to get in the band.
Sometimes I'm like, Mare, what are you thinking about? And she's like, I'm always thinking about how I could have hit the last bong hit better.
No, well, really, my editing, like, it's, yeah, having a, I always attribute it to being a Virgo and I'm being a mutable sign and therefore I'm an editor, but I don't know if it's also just like who I am, but the way that my psychosis enters my day to day, and I do have Neptune and Uranus in my sixth house, is like, basically, I backtrack every 3 seconds of my life with how I could have done it better. It doesn't matter what it is, like a bong rip or whatever it is. I talk to somebody, I go through it, and then I go through how I could have done it better.
Wow.
You know, and then sometimes it goes on longer and I beat myself up about it and I get really mad and I'll like talk out loud, like, what the fuck, you know, I get to those places for myself. You've heard me sometimes.
Oh, yeah. I'm like, who the fuck is Mary yelling at? I'm like, pop my head in and it's just she's looking in the mirror, praying to the devil. Yeah.
But yeah, it can get really insane. And when I get spun on, it gets really bad. Like I'm just on everything. And like such medial small stuff too. Like I should have used one less pea when I'm like cooking peas in the morning with like bell peppers and onions, or like I should have used more. There's this like incessant obsession with like how I could have done it better that goes off the rails.
I mean, we've talked about it before. It's the weight of perfectionism.
Yeah.
You know, and I think perfectionism is something like a lot of people like say as a quality that they're really proud of in a way, you know?
Yeah.
But I'm like, do you realize
when
how
they
much
say
it's
that,
slowing
they're
you
not.
down?
Anybody that's ever told me they're a perfectionist is not a perfectionist.
Exactly.
Wasn't the Virgo song called what was it? Not the inherent, but the never, what was it? It was the word before perfectionist. It wasn't never ending, but it was something like that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, I mean, I think the what you just described, which is to me like to a T perfectionism, it's not helping you that much. You know,
at all.
I'm sure it helps you. It helped you become the person you are, but like, man, I don't know. I can't really relate with that. I saw this meme the other day. It's like, you know, how people fucking they leave a social situation and they sit there replaying the whole thing like I could have done better. I really could have done better. And I'm like, I'm not really like that.
Yeah.
A moment happens and it's like, cool. All right, moving on. I don't know if I've always been like that.
How does it feel to be favored by the gods, Sean?
I just in the moment. I feel like my anxieties come from future stuff. The past is the past. It happened. I'm pretty good at slaying that.
But it is for the future. That's the whole thought process. It's like I want to be better.
Right.
And it does. You're right. It is kind of at some perspective a superpower of mine because I do get better, and I think more than most people I change, and I change really fast because I'm constantly like, how can I change and how can I be better? You know. There's not a lot of stagnation that happens in my life. And if it does, it tends to spin me out pretty bad.
Just try to keep it in check, you know, in balance.
Yeah.
Because, you know, ruminating on what you could have done better every 3 seconds maybe at times can like prevent you
miserable.
from being in the moment, you know. And there's like a
Absolutely.
lot of special stuff to get out of like being here, you know. And sometimes
Yes.
we'll be just like, Mare, come join us, come on, where are you?
It's crazy. She looks different when she's doing that than when, you know, like when Mare's in the moment, she's laughing. Like it's very, like she's here, she's laughing, she's present. When she's doing that thing, it's like you're elsewhere. I mean, anyone really.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like 3 seconds ago.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Weed really supports the 3 second. I think it can support being in the present, but it can also support like the track of anxiety of like,
Yeah.
oh, I fucked that up. I should have done that better. And there's something very purifying and cleansing about, you know, a heavy dose of edibles because you go through every fucking goddamn thing or whatever it feels like.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, I needed this because I'm a horrible human being.
Yeah.
And I will vow to be better.
Right.
And I did not see the evil in my ways
Right.
until this cannabis plant helped me
Right.
see that.
Yes. And then sometimes I attribute it to an ability to like rewrap memories. Because I think about doing even as like a super young child has just like been my existence. And sometimes I think I have gone through stuff that maybe other people have gone through with a little bit less of a dramatic perspective on it, because I do this weird, like I go through it and I try and like wrap it in the best way possible, if that makes sense, you know? And
That's good.
Because if it continues to bother me, it's like, oh, I just haven't wrapped it in a way that I can throw it out or
Yeah.
something, you know? It's this, I have to like package it. And
Yeah,
then
that's good. Part of the
Ship it
storytelling.
out. Yeah, part of the storytelling, exactly.
It's been a part of our disagreements and our fights. Is like we've done this dance so many times now that it's just like we just cut to the point where you're like, tell a better story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that shit works.
Yeah.
That works. It's like when you're not in the details of it. It's just
Yeah.
like, tell a better story about this whole situation.
Yeah.
It's like it's access to the gratitude realm.
Yeah.
And you know, like we both, it's crazy because you weren't over here. You were here last night, but you went back to your place,
Yeah.
and you showed up back here today. Like,
Yeah.
fucking, yo, I woke up like so psyched about our life and
Yeah.
our relationship, and I'm like, we did too. And we woke up and we were like saying prayers of gratitude towards you, and then we're just like, yo, let's like, we've been with Mare for a year. Like, let's talk about all the amazing stuff she's brought into our life and how she keeps us on our toes. Like all this stuff, like, just you know. Just pouring it out, and you showed up here. You're like, I'm so excited about us. I'm like, yeah, me too. This is fucking crazy.
Yeah, I think it's been like a really difficult November, as I said, and so a couple weeks, and I just woke up with a flood of not just gratitude but excitement. You know,
Yeah.
about all of the possibilities and the expansion, and how exciting it is to have people that do expand you and the possibilities, and multiply the timelines that you can go into, and the frequency of the timelines that you're traversing
Yeah.
too, you know, and
Yeah.
then the excitement got me around to just like massive gratitude for y'all. And yeah,
Our whole space team, like the mycelium, is
Yeah.
like shout out to
Yes.
Phil who just moved to
Yes, like-
Brooklyn. You know,
yeah, we know so many young, like I was thinking about Joey, and I was thinking about Mars, and like too,
Yeah.
we're all just like, as I said, I think recollecting about the times where I had a group of psychonauts that took psychedelics together and saw how that completely uncurated, unaware almost magic was able to bloom. Like
And
what
now
we
we're
have
doing it.
going on in this cauldron is like
and now we're doing it with some structure, like with some people that are
We
like,
have-
we can do this.
some amazing ingredients, you
Yeah.
know, and I just got really excited about that, you know.
Yeah, I was having dinner with someone else last night, and she's kind of new
Yeah.
to the city, and she's like, and I know you guys are jealous, but
Cass is going on hot dates,
Whatever.
lesbian dates.
no, no, she's just like, you know, new to this New York, and I was like, I felt so confident being like, we literally have the best friends, like
Yeah.
the coolest, kindest people who want to expand and play music and have a
Yeah.
good time, and like, it's like no doubt. I'm like, you'll love it.
Yeah.
You're already loved, and you'll love it. You
Yeah.
know, and it's so wholesome in a way that I love so much.
Jeannie and her partner coming over here the other day, their first time in New York City, and saying that they are going to try to move here, just brought in all of this like 18 years of data points of like, yo, wait, this city's cool. And I'm like honoring the city as I'm talking to them in a way I never would.
Yeah.
You know, it's just because like they're not from here. They're like, we're thinking about moving here. And I'm like, Actually, it's a good move.
Grateful for New York, absolutely.
Holy shit, this is the
Grateful
best
for
city
New
in the
York
world.
City. It's the best city in the world. I
Fucking-
love, like, grateful for people. It got me on the whole trip, you know?
Yeah.
Like, all the things when I feel negative and spun out on, like, completely flip on their head. You know, the burden of New York, the gravity of it, psychically, emotionally, financially, whatever the fuck it is. Like, all
worth
that
it.
gets flipped on its head. It's like, that is it. You
Yeah.
know, that's like why we're here in the inferno of fucking, you know, the psychedelic circus of New York and all of the people that we can create with here. Because, like, the other thing was Joey was asking me, because he's kind of going through his, like, pre-Saturn return, like, what do I want to do with my life? Like, what I wanted. And, like, it was so easy for me. Like, it was so easy to just, like, list it off. And I think that got me excited in that, oh my God, like, I have all of the things I need to do what I want. Like, I don't have to worry about anything. And then I got on this, like, okay, I better use it because not everybody's in this scenario or situation.
Right.
Like, I better be grateful and go out there and, like, do the damn thing.
Yeah, you're doing. You're
You
doing.
know?
You're currently doing it. And I was your age when I started doing the damn thing.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And Joey's just getting to that age, and I understand that
Yeah.
little voice inside you, like, get out there and
Yeah.
fucking do it. But it's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's happening.
Yeah. And I think for him and a lot of people, where I was talking to him about, like, specificity and ambiguity with, like, thinking about your future and how much of it is helpful because sometimes we're too specific about what we want and sometimes we're not specific enough about what we want.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And either one of those things can kind of hold you back from the timelines that you want to get on and enter resistance into your life in different ways. And I feel really lucky to have had enough for time for reflection over the past couple of years to be really definitive about it.
Yeah.
You know, and explore lots of things like I've explored in my life. And yeah, a lot of gratitude after the tropes through the underworld. Because
Oh
I
my
definitely
God.
did that this month too, y'all.
Oh
Hasn't
my
all been
God.
sunshine and rainbows. I've now arrived into these sunshine and rainbows as life
Yeah,
always matches
yeah.
inside outside.
And
but-
we'll be back again to the inferno, or the
Yeah.
deep dark hellscape. We will return. We'll see you again.
Yeah, Mary's like, I'm so excited about our future. I'm like, we are too. She's like, 2023 is going to be the best. And I was like,
I know.
wait, hold on. What year
That
are
was a
we in?
legit statement.
What year are we in right now? 2021. Wait, hold on. What about 2022? It's going to be the November of years. Like,
No,
no?
that's not what I'm
I feel like we're going to
saying.
have so many
It's
fucking
gonna be
wild
the
adventures.
best.
Yeah.
2022 is gonna be the best. It's just like my Saturn return is gonna be over in 2023.
Ah,
so like
okay.
I'm really gonna be,
We're going to be like, oh,
you
there
know,
you
out
are.
of my own way.
What the fuck? Where you been?
Exactly.
Where you
exactly.
been, mate?
Exactly. No, it's only getting better from here, y'all. But it will get significantly better in 2023 and 2026. There's lots of things to look forward to in the future. You know what I mean?
The 2042.
You know what I really need to do that I've been nagging myself on? And I actually have an appointment with an astrologer here called Leslie, who's one of the only astrologers I've talked to here. Love her. Shout out to her. But anyways, I want to try and pick her brain about the astrology in the future and talk to her about what I know to help me with investments. Because I don't know how else to approach investments.
I know.
It's so overwhelming to me.
I know.
Like, I want to support good stuff that I believe in, but that's not narrowing down anything. It's talking about specificity and ambiguity. And I think about the future, and I'm not like leading edge on thinking about, because I'm not up to date on tech. I'm not up to date. I'm not like in it enough on the ground in a 3-dimensional way to be like good about foreseeing future things like that. But I could look at the astrology and be like, this is what people are going to be into or focused on, or what's changing up at least.
We're all pretty good at that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think any of us are. I mean, look, maybe we will get crypto rich, but you have to pay such close attention. The people that I know that have gotten crypto rich are really paying attention, and they've had big losses.
No, I want to do
know?
longer term investments.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
don't want to do crypto. I can't be that involved.
No, I mean, and we've said it before. I'll say it again. Like, God bless the people that have struck it rich on crypto. It's a pyramid scheme. It's capitalism. It's a pyramid scheme. Anyone that has ever tried to pull me into the crypto world has such a used car salesman energy, and they feel the need to kind of cloak it in like this almost communist values, like, I'm gonna get rich so I can spread it out to everyone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I guess you feel the need to project that since you're pulling me into a pyramid scheme, the most capitalist thing you could fucking do.
Right.
So it's so funny how people I'm just saying, you can't just go trust any person on their manic upswing about things, because when times aren't good
Right.
with crypto, we don't hear shit from those fucking people.
Right.
Yeah.
It is this exciting realm though, where people can take $100 and turn it into $1,000 if they do the right investment or whatever it is. Like, there is a way to pay attention and shift classes. And that's like kind of rare in our society to be able to do something from like a device you keep in your pocket.
Yeah.
And so that's where I think the blessing has come in for a lot of people who might have their back against the wall in some ways. And it's yeah.
Yeah.
If you really have your back against the wall, and this is just the truth, you're not thinking about crypto. You can't you don't have a phone. You're not investing. You don't have any money to do any of that stuff. And that's the position most people are in. It's sad, but this is where radical harmony comes in. We are in a class system, and I guess I'm the type of person that wants to see a world without class, because I think that's how we can live in radical harmony. But in the meantime, we can embody that ourselves. So you want to shout out your shirt?
Yeah, Chris designed this.
Why don't you move your hair?
Sorry. How great is that?
Radical harmony.
It makes me happy.
Yeah.
He sent a little card with it.
Why don't you read it?
It says, radical harmony is the radical act of connecting with your fellow life forms despite the toxic influences of capitalism and hierarchical conditioning. You are not alone. We are in this together.
Yeah.
So great.
If you want to hear more about radical harmony, that is the name of episode 200 of the Very Ape podcast, which is on YouTube. I think it's just me and you. I'm pretty sure it's just me and you talking.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah. You want to pull a card before we go?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
All right. Today's card of the day, getting us through Tuesday.
Tuesday of Thanksgiving week here in America. I know that's not really, I don't think it's a holiday anywhere else, but here in America, everyone's gearing up for Thanksgiving.
The holiday is getting off work. Other than that, it's like fucking. Anyway, why don't you do it? I'll do this. Do you want one?
Building blocks. You see? What's this all about? Building blocks.
Oh, we all got gray ones.
Yeah, well, I would say Venus in Capricorn is absolutely a builder above all things. Capricorn energy builds, so it doesn't surprise me that we have this. And it's heavy and hard to build, you know what I mean? And sometimes, almost all the time it takes demolition before construction can happen, right?
Ooh.
So we're maybe in a demolition phase of your life.
Oh, well, and then that's appropriate because you got the clean it up.
And yeah,
card.
I agree. Like, I think it's the more that we think about these building blocks of a future without class, the more they'll happen. You know, it's like we have to keep thinking about them and dreaming about them and participating in ways that new systems of structure and value can be created that are not hierarchical and class oriented. You know what I mean?
It starts at home. We talk about this all the time.
Absolutely.
You got to stop treating people the way we've been conditioned to treat people.
Yeah.
So it's a big task. But we can't expect to see that in the world if we're not performing that ourselves.
Yep.
This has been fun.
Another
Tuesday.
great morning. I hope everybody has a great day.
Oh, man. Plinky. Sounding as plinky as ever. It's the Come Up Trinity Infinity. Catch more patreon.com/Church of Chill.
Yeah.
We're driving to Maine tomorrow. Maybe we'll record like a podcast for the Patreon on the way up.
Sure.
Which is really
pee
fun.
in a bottle in front of everybody.
Yeah,
again.
if you want to see Mayor pee in a bottle, check out our last Patreon only podcast where we were on a car ride together. We'll do another one tomorrow. That'll be fun. And those longer form ones are a good contrast to these. So
Yeah.
check us out on patreon.com/Church of Chill. Get a Radical Harmony T-shirt.
Yes.
We'll put the link in the bio in
Well,
the description.
there's no link. You gotta be friend. You gotta talk to Chris. Well,
you got to get on our Discord if you want to know about these shirts. So
Love yourselves. Love each other.
peace, love, and magic.